All focus is on Pokemon and Smash Bros., two of Nintendo's largest franchises about to foray onto Nintendo Switch this fall. But another major Nintendo franchise is about to make an appearance on a completely different platform in the form of Mario Kart Tour. This game was announced back in January as a mobile Mario Kart, and there are a decent amount of rumors and some buzz indicating that it may appear tomorrow at Apple's keynote event where they unveil the new iPhones, more products, and maybe another Mario appearance, Gabe.
Yes, you and I were already excited for the event for other reasons, but now the possibility that Mario Kart Tour can make an appearance has even more hyped, and I'm going to be watching very closely because they've done this before. They've showcased Mario Run at a past event. That's where they kind of like introduced the game to the masses, and people are wondering if something similar could happen this go around. Do you think that Mario Kart Tour gets shown tomorrow?
I really do. This game is coming this fiscal year, which means it has to release between today and March of 2019. They brought out Miyamoto himself in 2016 to unveil Super Mario Run. They have a good relationship with Apple, and I feel like, as opposed to the Animal Crossing title, Fire Emblem, the upcoming Dragalia, Mario Kart is a big enough name that Nintendo would want it to have prime time advertising, and Apple would want to partner up on that type of title. So I definitely think we see this. I think it's a good get for Apple. There's plenty of popular mobile games, but there aren't necessarily a lot of big faces or big IP to attach to said mobile games. So this is a chance for Apple to really, sort of put two and two together. And I don't know if Miyamoto comes back, but I do think Nintendo makes an appearance, especially since it has not been mentioned since, and it kind of needs to come out soon.
Yes, Samsung, one of Apple's big direct competitors, went with Fortnite, the biggest game in the world right now. They had that on stage for when they unveiled their recent phones. So Apple probably wants to get a huge IP, and what better than Mario Kart, in my opinion. Now, the success of Nintendo on phones has varied. Of course, they all kind of monetize things differently as well, with Super Mario Run being $10, and there was a free version that you could try out. But to get everything in the game, it's $10. Animal Crossing, microtransactions. Fire Emblem, microtransactions. Pokemon, while not directly Nintendo, that seems to do super well as well. But I foresee that this is going to be one of their bigger mobile outings. There's so much that they can do with this, and the fact that there are other mobile racing games on the platform already easily has a template for how racing can work on a device like this.
For sure, the precedent has been set, but I hope that it is. I hope they follow a specific previous racing model. I don't want this to be a case where it's auto driving and you just make some directional choices or you just pick the items. I really hope it's tried and true Mario Kart, but I'm not sure that that's what they'll go with. We have seen their other IP be modified and in some ways simplified to make the transition to mobile. Mario Run, a prime example in that Mario auto run, and you were just controlling some of his actions. I found that the allure of that wore off quite quickly, and while it was still kind of fun, I never went back after the first couple of weeks. I hope Mario Kart focuses more on the traditional Mario Kart gameplay because, like you said, you could have a superstar winner there if you were able to give people a free-to-start Mario Kart experience where then you could expand the character roster or even the track roster via microtransactions and compete directly against other players. They've already done motion controls in Mario Kart. It would work super well on phones. The game could look really great. Do you think that they go with a tried and true Mario Kart experience, or is that in a way undermining the main franchise and they're going to somehow make this a simplified, tap 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 to win type Mario Kart game?
Well, regardless, I feel the game has to be simplified, for these platforms. That is probably going to go without saying, just because a much younger audience has their hands on these phones, and especially if you're going to have this be free to start, the barrier to entry is going to be so low that you're going to want it to be accessible. So I think the tried and true Mario Kart experience you're going to be able to have on Switch, they probably want to be very careful not to undermine that, because that game continues to sell well. It's going to continue to sell. It's a pillar that's holding up Nintendo Switch because it's an evergreen title like a lot of other Nintendo titles. So simplify it a little bit. For me, that's perfectly okay. But let's talk a little bit about what we want from this, because it's going to be simplified, right? I think that much can be said with almost certainty. But what other like stuff do you want on the experience to make it worth it for you? Are you gonna need to have like unlockables? Or here, let me ask you this direct question: would you rather pay the $10 up front for like the game, or would you rather like find free to start? You gotta unlock other characters through microtransactions. We already know that it is free to start. Like there is a free version of it, but maybe they do have a version that's like $10 that gets you, the full game. Who knows?
I think the most consumer friendly and probably what people would want is just like a one-time fee and then it's done. $10 feels like a lot, I think, for mobile, but for Mario Kart, if they are giving you a solid experience, that seems totally reasonable. Personally, I kind of like the idea of like dipping my toes in the different microtransaction pools. Like, okay, I'm going to unlock Rosalina and I'm going to grab Bowser, but I'm going to stay far away from Toad, or however you decide to do that. I think that would probably be their most successful model, maybe. It just seems like Mario Kart is kind of ripe for that, and I don't know if, I assume that there isn't going to be any, like, single-player content here in terms of, like, cups that you could, purchase in packs, although that would be kind of neat. I guess auto-driving would be okay. They obviously implemented that in the Switch game. It's there, so if you were just kind of, like, the gas was auto and you were just steering and hitting boosts and firing items, maybe that would be okay. I just want to make sure that, to me, if there isn't a whole lot of direct control, I'm kind of out. And I get that they definitely will want to establish separation between the mainline title that's $60 and then this title that inevitably will be far less. I just hope that it does feel like Mario Kart. Otherwise, I don't know. As a core Switch gamer, I'm not going to be devoting much time to Tour.
Yeah, the core gameplay has to feel right. One thing I just thought about, though, Zach, was the microtransactions in Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing. They're not finite the way that the microtransactions would be in Mario Kart. At least that's how we imagine them, right? Because because of the microtransactions are going to be unlock characters, unlock car parts or courses, whatever the case may be. There's a set number to how many of those things there's going to be. Animal Crossing, you're buying resources to keep things going, and those are infinite for the most part, right? So I do wonder if like a set price would be way better for Mario Kart, given that the sheer amount of content is probably going to have a limit. So yeah, I hope we can just pay like one price. We'll see how that shakes out. But for the gameplay, I'm actually okay if the car like goes by itself and you do the tilting and item stuff with dashes and. But
you got to still be able to at least do the steering.
Yeah. Of course. Yes,
because there is kind of a nightmare scenario where you have to recharge your cars and you have to recharge characters, and you're not only paying to unlock new characters, but you're paying for to expedite those processes that we've seen in other mobile titles. Where like, oh, this guy's out, so you have to either wait or you can only use a certain number of who knows, maybe they item blocks and items themselves come in finite amounts and you have to purchase more of those. I hope that they don't get too goofy with it. I think Nintendo has obviously had extreme monetary success with their mobile titles and extreme societal success with things like Pokemon Go. Mario Run did incredibly well, but I don't think it, crossed over in terms of this really incredible mind share movement. So Mario Kart Tour could be another chance for them to do that. They're just going to have to hit this and do it right. I thought it was interesting that some people pointed out that Mario Kart mainly succeeds on its local multiplayer, and yes, the online is pretty strong in the recent one, but this being like an online-only type thing, obviously you're not split-screening it up on your iPhone. How will that affect things? And I just really hope that they do have head-to-head direct multiplayer, but the more that we discuss it, again, I just don't know that they want to go there, given that it will... Like their priority still must be selling the Switch and selling their mainline games. So as glorious as it would be to carry Mario Kart around with you at all times... We've seen plenty of other racing titles deliver a very strange version of what racing actually means.
Zach, you can already carry Mario Kart with you at all times on Nintendo Switch.
Okay, thank you. There you go.
So watch what you're saying.
I don't have pockets that big, but
you have a backpack. I mean,
the iPhone XS Max is supposed to be 6.5 inches, so it's not that far off.
I think it's like almost completely separate audiences. I think that the people that are going to buy stuff on phone, like, not that they don't have a Switch, but like it's a much wider like install base, like just because like everybody has
For sure.
a phone.
So everyone that has a Switch, I would imagine, has a smartphone.
Sure. But I don't think that this game's gonna ever like mean less sales for the mainline game. I don't think there's any real danger of that, honestly.
That could be absolutely true. And
Like
we'll have to wait and
the
see.
price alone, like, yeah, sure, maybe more people will play this one because like it's like free, like to start. They'll try it, but then if they want like a real Mario Kart experience, they know
Right.
they know where to go.
Well, I guess it depends how simplified are the tracks. Are they giving us as much visual pizzazz as we get in Mario Kart 8, or are they, one lap tracks that have simplified Mario iconography? I don't know. I think just in a perfect world, the idea of a bunch of people being able to play online and maybe even some light RPG elements of like improving your stable of racers or your carts or parts or something of that sort would be super sweet. And I could definitely see that something that takes over kind of this holiday season mobile phone wise. Like everyone's playing Mario Kart, you get these quick races in, they're really fun, you're improving your characters, you're setting record times, and hey, maybe they even throw in a battle mode, something. I mean, it could be a cultural phenomenon if handled really, really well. We'll have to wait and see if that is what they deliver. Hopefully it's shown off tomorrow. Hopefully it comes out this year. We'll keep you posted as soon as anything is said. Let us know how you feel about Mario Kart Tour, what it would take for you to play, and how you think Nintendo will handle moving this main franchise to the mobile platforms. We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch, and super cool guys like Toad, who's in Mario Kart and Gabe is a huge fan of. And follow us on Twitter and Discord. We got links in the description below. For myself and Gabe, though, until next time, have a fantastic day, everybody. We love you. Switch Force out.